All right, we've done a little adding and subtracting of decimals. We've done some estimating. We've done some multiplication of decimals. Let's get to division. Everybody's favorite. Okay, so here we are. Math 4.5. It's not 4.5. It's 3.5. All right, 3.5. Now, learning target for this one is to find quotients. That means you're doing a division problem. You're dividing something in equal parts. Quotient, you want to find the quotient, that's the answer. Kind of like the product. You have factors, you multiply them together, you get your product. Quotient, you have a dividend and a divisor. You divide them, and you get your quotient. Okay, so whenever you see the word quotient, you think division. All right. Find quotients of problems involving multi-digit divisors. Okay, so the divisor. This one actually has just a single-digit divisor, but that's going to be our warm-up. And then we have a couple that have multi-digit divisors. So here's what you got. 240 divided by 80 equals 3. You have your divisor, which is what it's divided by. You have your dividend, which is what you have. And then you have your quotient, which is the answer. Okay, so 80 divides into 240 3 times. So that's your important vocabulary you need to know. So here, this is my divisor, 8. My dividend is 768. My quotient is what's going to be up here. I don't know what it is. Okay, so here is where you really need to make sure you're keeping things in line. So let's do this. So we asked ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 7? Well, 8 goes into 7 0 times. 0 times 8 is 0. Okay? And now I subtract. And when I subtract it, I can put zeros here. That becomes 8, 6, 7. Now, I'm going to the next place value, this one, right here, which is 76. How many times does 8 go into 76? Let's see. Here's where you got to do some guess and check, and you got to know your facts. 8 goes into 76. I know 8 times 9 is 72. 72, does that fit into 76? It does. So, I put my 9 there. Okay. 9 times 8 is 72. Perfect. Now I subtract. I put a 0 here. That becomes an 8. That becomes 4. And that's nothing. Now, this 8 into this place value, so I'm looking at this number right here. For this one, went with here. This went with here. And now this one is going to go with that, 48. So how many times does 8 go into 48? 6 times 8. I know that. I know my facts. 6 times 8 is 48. I subtract those out. 0, 0. I have no remainder, and I have no numbers here to bring down. So I am good to go. 96 is my quotient. Okay? All right. Division's a little bit more difficult. Takes a little bit more thought. You got to make sure you get the right lined up here. We're going to practice this a lot and make sure you have it down really well. Okay. Let's do another one. All right. I said this is 96. Okay. Now this one, it has it all lined up like that problem over here. So I have my dividend, 318. I have my divisor of 16. My quotient, I don't know. That's my answer, so I got to figure that out. Okay? So 16 doesn't go into 3. I'm not going to put it there. I just know that there's a 0 here. Okay? So I'm not working on just 3. I'm working on this number. So whatever I get, it's going to go right above here. Okay? So how many times does 16 go into 31? Not a ton. So I could go 16 times 1. 16 times 1 equals 16. It does work there. 16 times 2, that would be 32. Does 32 fit into 31? Nope. So how many times can 16 go in there? Only one time. Just one time. So I put my 1 here. 1 times 16 is 16. And then I subtract. I pull this number down, 8. 1 minus 6, I can't do. Remember we did that subtraction? Come over to the neighbor, that becomes a 2. That's 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. 2 minus 1, 1. All right. So now I'm looking at this whole number here, 158. How many times does 16 go into 158? If I'm doing an estimate, 16 times 10, I know that equals 160. 160 is so close to 158, all I got to do is go a little bit lower. So I'm going to go with 9 instead of 10. So I put my 9 right here, and I do 9. I sometimes do it to the side here. 9 times 16. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. Okay? So I get 144. Okay. So, now we subtract these out. 4, that gives me 1, and then it's not zeros, but there's no other number to bring down. I'm done with my numbers. So 16 goes into that number 19 times, and I have a little remainder. And I always use an R there. That's what you use. 14. So this is 19 remainder 14. Okay. So 16 goes into this number 19 times evenly, and I'm left with 14 extras that don't fit into that even division. Okay? Let's do one more, and then you'll have a chance to watch me do a few more, and then you'll have a chance to do some of your own. I know you're excited. I know you're loving this. It's great math. It's a lot of fun doing some guess and check, applying your... These are great because you apply your adding, subtracting, you apply your multiplication, and you apply everything that you know. So let's look here. I have 8,465 divided by 91. Okay, so how many times does 91 go into this number evenly? We'll see. Might be a remainder, might not be. Let's find out. 91. Does 91 go into 8? Nope. Does it go into 84? Can I get a 91 out of 84? No. So I have to go all the way here. So I'm going to start with this place here. Now my question is, how many times does 91 go into 846? 91 times 10 equals 910. Does 910 fit into 846? No, but it's pretty close. I'm going to go one less. I'm going to make this 9. So I come over here, 91 times 9. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 819. Does 819 fit into 846? It does. So we know that this is going to be 9. 9 times 91 is 819. So now I subtract out. This number falls down to 5. 6 minus 9, can't do. I go to the neighbor. Comes a 3, that becomes a 16. Then I can do 7. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 minus 8 is nothing. I'm done. Okay? Now I have this 275. Going to go right there. How many times does 91 go into 275? Well, 9 is 819. So I know it's not even close to 9. 1 would be 91, 2 would be 180 something, 3, let's try 3. I feel like 3 is going to be pretty close because I know 270, 3 times 90 is 270, so let's do that. 91 times 3. See how this takes a little work? It's kind of guess and check, and you got to see what it is. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 9 is 27, 273. Does 273 go into 275? It does. Almost perfect, but not quite. So we'll have a little remainder. That's all right. So I'm going to do 3. 3 times 91 is 273. Subtract that out. That's 2. So that's 0. There's no numbers to pull down. 93 remainder 2. That's my quotient. Okay? Alright, so this involves a lot. It involves your adding, your subtracting. It involves lots of things, a little guess and check, knowing your facts. Kind of brings it all together. So go ahead and watch the guided practice on this, and then do some independent practice on your own. Come see me if you have any questions. You can get this. We'll work through it together. It'll be fine. All right?